video lectures are mainly intended for ESE 2021 prelims exam. Along with that, it will cover the requirements of the CSE prelims and mains and also railway management service exam, if any, it is coming this year. Here we will see the topic related to NavIC. NavIC is navigation with Indian constellation. Navigation with Indian constellation is the name given to our positioning system, indigenous positioning system. We are giving very nice abbreviations to different projects and schemes. So this also have a meaning, NavIC, navigation. So it is mainly intended for the navigation purposes. So what is this NavIC? NavIC is a constellation of satellites. Constellation means a group of satellites. So there are 7 satellites, 3 in geostationary orbit and 4 in geosynchronous orbit. The small difference between geostationary and geosynchronous. Geostationary will be positioned above a particular location on Earth, that is relative movement between that point and the satellite is 0, so that it will always remain above that point throughout its lifetime. Geosynchronous orbit will also be in same orbital height, but it will be in an inclined position. So these 7 satellites are enough to cover India and its neighboring region. How much neighboring region it is covering? Beyond the borders, it will cover around 1500 kilometers. It is not a small distance. If you see in the map, it will cover Africa to Australia and from Indian Ocean to China. It will cover Pakistan, Afghanistan and some Middle Asian countries and other neighboring countries also. So it is extending 1500 kilometers beyond Indian borders. This particular was asked once in UPSC Civil Service Preliminary Exam about the coverage, how much distance it is covering. So you have to note that it is covering beyond Indian borders also. And there are 2 purposes. One is civilian use and restricted use. Restricted uses will be encrypted services for the military operations. So it is not available to the public. And civilian use, it will be available to public as like we are using GPS now for our navigation. So we will be having a question in mind. How we will use that? Are we able to see any phone using NavIC satellite system? Yes, it is going to come. It is not yet in civilian use. That's why we are not able to see. So by mid of this year, it is expected that we will get smartphones that are able to use our NavIC satellite system. So that was in news. For smartphones, processors are required. They will be able to assess the signals of the NavIC system. So Qualcomm, the company named Qualcomm, has come up with the processors. Some 3 processors they have come up with in the Snapdragon range. So these processors can be used by handset manufacturers. They can take these processors from this Qualcomm and they can build the handsets. So such handsets will be able to use this navigation system. So Xiaomi and Realme has announced its intention to manufacture handsets using these processors. So by this year we can see smartphones in the market with our system. What is the peculiarity of these processors? They will use dual frequency. So it will support use of 1 and more navigation systems. Global navigation systems are there. Different systems are there like GPS, GLONASS, China's video, etc. They use frequency bands from L1, L2, L5 and L6. So about 1.58 GHz to 1.17 GHz, like that range is allotted by International Telecommunication Union for GNSS, Global Navigation System. So GPS will be using frequency band in L1 and our NavIC is using frequency in L5. Also it is using S-band. Not only GPS and NavIC, other systems GLONASS accessible by these processes. We know that GPS is in commercial use for a very long time. That process was started in 1970s and it was made available to public in 1983. We have GPS. Why do we go for our separate system spending this much money? this is a very big project, and work started for this from 2013, and we have launched 7 satellites, and 2 satellites are supposed to be sent as standby, but now we are having only the required 7 satellites. In between, some technical snacks has come in the satellite, that's why this much delay. And it has to be open to the civilian use. Why we are taking this much risk and effort and money to have our own navigation system? Because experience have showed us that during emergency time we cannot rely on other countries' navigation systems. So in Kargil war and the war before, we were requesting the service of the GPS system for our military use, but it was denied. So then the idea has come, like we have to have our own system for our own security and our own use. That's why we are going with this system, and now it is made operational for the military, and fishermen are using it in their Gemini device. Gemini device is separately made for the fishermen. For navigation in sea, they have to use the satellite phones because normal mobile phones won't work in that range. Also for commercial vehicles, this GPS tracking systems has been made mandatory. So from 2019, all the commercial vehicles should be having this NavIC tracking system, not GPS, NavIC tracking system. And now it will come to the civilian use also in smartphones. So this system will be widely used in India. This system can be widely used in India, and it is supposed to give accuracy of 10 meter. Now with the GPS we will get accuracy of 20 to 30 meter. So it will get accuracy more than GPS because it is concentrated on Indian landmass. So we can proudly use our own navigation system in our own smartphones, most probably this year. So there can be different questions from this topic on the navigation satellite system, about the application of the system, what are the different uses, even frequencies can also be asked. Essay type questions also can come from this topic, or it is necessary, how it is being applied, what is the status, etc. So for more questions, please see your Hyperloop magazine which is being published in our site. If you need more topics to be covered as lectures from the Hyperloop magazine, please let me know in the comments below.